Welcome to Sports Talk Live. We've got a packed show today. I'm really not even sure if we're going to be able to get through all of it. So, we're just going to have to really get into it. We're talking NBA playoffs. We're talking NFL draft, NHL playoffs, and even more. So stay tuned. Sports Talk Live. Again, this is Sports Talk Live. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Today, I'm your host, Ken Stowe, and today I'm joined by Grant Bills and Billy Lewis. And like I said, we've got a packed show today, guys.
We do. Yes,
it's going to be exciting. We're going to kick it off. A little bit of NBA playoffs. Grant, why don't you just start it off for us? Tell us what you think.
Well, let's start in the Western Conference.
Right.
I know you're a big Wolves fan. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. Something is satisfying to me about watching the Warriors just kick the absolute living death out of the Spurs. I actually enjoyed that. The Rockets look really good, but I have a couple questions. I don't know how you feel about watching. Well, as a Wolves fan, I still don't have 100% faith in Chris Paul and James Harden in the playoffs. Am I crazy?
No, because when you slow the game down, you get into pick and roll. I think that the Golden State Warriors have every piece available to them at their disposal to stop them, whether it's Draymond Green helping out pick and roll or KD, he's too long. They have all the tools. You got JaVale McGee waiting at the basket. So technically Golden State is just a better team the way everyone is assuming, and they should go on to win a championship yet again.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while, honestly. I think that the Rockets, they are the second best team in the West. Okay. I really think that despite being the 1 seed, I think that the Rockets, despite being 1 seed, again, I think they're the second best team in the West. I think the Warriors are still the team to beat. And I don't buy into the hype. I don't think that they can really hang with the Golden State Warriors. What do you think, Grant?
Well, I love James Harden. I mean, what did he score? 44?
43?
43, 44, somewhere in there. But when it comes down to it, late in a game, when the game slows down, like you said, you get into the pick and roll, I'd rather have Kevin Durant. If it's go out and get me a bucket to take the lead with 12 seconds left, I'd rather have KD take that shot. I might even rather have Klay Thompson take that shot. If you get him a good look over James Harden, I don't know. And I love James Harden. He's the MVP. He's my MVP, but I don't know.
I think it's very interesting that we're saying Mr. Go out and get a bucket, because we always talk about LeBron James, the best player in the NBA. I hate to say it.
It's too early, man.
I hate to say it.
Too early in the show.
This is what we're here for, first and foremost. So we need to get it out. Let's just clear the air. LeBron James passes the ball to people, hopes they make a shot, and gets called the best player in the game. I'm not so sure when it's about putting the ball in the hoop and stopping people from putting the ball in the hoop. I'm not sure if he's doing the best at those two things.
Look, this isn't going to happen again. The other 4 starters scored 1 more point than LeBron did at total. That's not going to happen again. They shot absolutely terribly. LeBron shot the ball 0 times in the first quarter, and I think it was by design. I truly believe that LeBron says, look, playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball. For players that haven't played in the playoffs, Lakers players, Utah Jazz players, they haven't experienced the intensity of what playoff defense truly is. So he says, you know what, first quarter, let's see what you guys can do. Prove to me that you can play. I'm not going to carry you. You don't need me to carry you in this first round, this first series. So and he learned, I need to shoot more.
He took 0 shots in the first quarter last
year.
And
exactly, I think it was by design.
Did he expect those guys to?
I don't think
score?
He expected 14 points.
You said that the starters combined only for 1 more point than LeBron James, right? Okay,
yeah.
so that's because, and this is pretty simple. That's because other than KD, their starting five is not that good. Their starting five is, when you line them up against the guys they got coming out,
other than LeBron.
Other than LeBron,
right.
and Kevin Love. Other than those two guys, it's a bunch of depth players, in my opinion. Whether it's Rodney Hood or George Hill, I like Larry Nance, Tristan Thompson. Apparently, they're not going to play Tristan Thompson.
They shouldn't.
Which is fine.
He's busy.
He's busy.
He's Kardashian busy.
He is Kardashian.
Right.
I just don't think. I think it has to be LeBron and then a bunch of role players. I don't think LeBron can try to incorporate people. All right, Rodney Hood's going off for 35 like Kyrie might have. He's not that guy.
And with that being said, though, I think there are two things to be said about that. One, I think that LeBron he's playing with a bunch of losers. I think you really hit on. Kevin Love never won with the Wolves. Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance. These guys aren't winners. The only winner he's ever played with was Dwayne Wade. Kyrie Irving didn't even win without him. So with that being said, and like, you really hit it on the head. He really has to take over, and I think he will. And I still think that they're winning the series, and I still think they're representing the East in the finals.
So who represents the West?
Yeah. Moving on to the West.
Yeah. Well, if that's Kenny obviously can see the future. So the Cavs are moving to the finals. I'm giving you a rough time. I actually agree.
Yeah.
But that's because, and I'm assuming that's because you think LeBron is just that good, and it won't matter.
He's that good.
Okay.
He's that good.
That's fair enough.
That he can win, and he can encompass an entire conference by himself.
Toronto.
All right.
My pick.
All right. So moving on to the West, we've talked a lot of East.
No respect for that.
Sorry.
Not even.
Sorry. No LeBron James.
All Cavs. I think it's Cavs. I really do. Okay. So moving on to the West. So I really think I just want to talk about the Timberwolves for just a second.
No, of course.
What do you think about the Jimmy Butler, the whole debacle that went on in the beginning of the season, doing the trade? Do you think that they are, that this was a good move for them moving forward?
Yes, because if they didn't have Jimmy Butler, they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. If they would have had Jimmy Butler for like 3 less games, they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. So I think at some point you have to stop accumulating, much like in baseball. You eventually have to stop accumulating talent in your draft or in your minor league system, and you need to start to flip some of that for actual, real, bona fide players. And they did that with Jimmy Butler. I don't think Wiggins and Cat could ever win by themselves, because I don't think Wiggins is the right type of player.
No.
I think he needs a guy like Jimmy Butler there playing with him. But I think that's absolutely the right move. I know we were talking off the air a little bit about how you didn't like the Jimmy Butler trade. I think that's a little bit. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
We'll definitely
because I think it has merit, but assuming that they crash and burn here in the next couple of years, which I don't see happening.
I honestly think Jimmy Butler is highly overrated. I'm glad they tried to get someone in there to help Karl Anthony Towns out, because his career would be a complete waste if they kept along with the talents that they had. But at the same time, Jimmy Butler, he's, like we were talking about earlier, he's a good player who thinks he's great. And if you give him the ball in the clutch, you're not getting that basket. So there it is. That's my take. He has no jump shot.
I think in the clutch, you're giving the ball to Karl Anthony Towns. He has a pretty high percentage, actually.
He shot the ball 9 times last game.
He definitely got dominated against the Rockets.
So.
He gets pushed around by everyone.
He gets pushed around.
That's like Cat's thing.
He does. Clint Capella is exactly the type of player that really dominates Karl Anthony Towns. Aggressive, strong, kind of like Grant, you said it before the show, a competent center.
Yeah, a competent center.
A competent center is kind of dominated Karl Anthony Towns. He needs to put on some weight. He needs to hit the weight room a little bit. I don't even think, personally, I don't think he should be playing center.
Power forward.
I think he's a power forward.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I can see that. I just think he's too athletic and too gifted. I think he doesn't need to be huge to get rebounds just because of his bounce and because of his length. But I mean, some centers get pushed around. I'm a Bucks fan, so John Henson, Thon Maker, or whoever they put under there getting pushed around. I think just because he's undersized, I don't think that means he's not going to be successful at the 5.
I just. And before I talk, before I get into this, I really want to give you, the opposite opinion on the Jimmy Butler trade. This is what I think. I think that the Jimmy Butler trade was the wrong move for the Timberwolves for this reason. They were in like a win now mode, and I don't think, other than Kyrie Irving, like a trade for Kyrie Irving to start the season, that would have been intriguing. But other than Kyrie Irving, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to be the difference of them overtaking the Warriors. I really don't. I don't think that Jimmy Butler is that type of a player. I think they should have waited him out. They gave up a lot for Jimmy Butler. They gave up Chris Dunn. They gave up Zach LaVine.
Essentially,
they gave up
Lauri
Markkanen, essentially. Like, I mean, these are really young players. You should have tried to outlive the Warriors while they age, while they potentially break up. Whatever may happen with that Warriors team, we still don't know. The verdict is still out.
So let's talk. I know you talked Cavs. You think Toronto's going to pull away. So the East is up for debate. What about the West? Let's talk about the West. Who's winning the West here?
I think the Warriors win the West.
Golden State. Easily Golden State.
So there's no situation where you can see something else happening.
I mean,
the Rockets are good enough to be there, so we'll see how that plays out.
So what if Steph doesn't come back? What if Steph comes back and he re-aggravates it, or he's not the same and they shut him down? Can you see somebody else? I
honestly believe that Golden State, with him out, they're still clicking on all cylinders. You still have the best player in the world. Pardon me, KD.
That's enough.
But when you have that guy, and you have guys with a lot of not just playoff experience, but heart, tenacity. When you think of Draymond Green, and you even got JaVale McGee. He's not Shaq and a fool right now.
No, he's not.
What he's doing is playing some organized
ball. And Iguodala balled out. He balled out the other night.
So I
mean, really did.
They have a lot of pieces. So I have to go with them overall. But I definitely give the Houston Rockets a shot, though.
So let's talk about really quickly. Let's talk about the Cavs. Are they in trouble?
Oh, yeah, they're going to lose. They're not going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
You think they lose against the Pacers?
I think LeBron James does not want to go back to the finals and lose again. Not just to Golden State, but to put that on his record to lose yet another finals after Michael Jordan went 6 times and won 6 times. And he wants to compare himself to the king. The king wants to compare himself to the king. I think that's funny, but, yeah, he doesn't want to lose yet another final series. That's my opinion.
It makes sense. I think... Yeah, they got blown out in Game 1. That surprised a lot of people, I think. But you look at the Pacers, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here in any way possible, because I guess essentially that's why we're up here. The Pacers beat the Cavs 3 out of 4 in the regular season, I believe.
They did.
So they did. And I just think that this is a team that doesn't feel like they're playing with house money. I feel like they legitimately think, for right or for wrong, that they can come into the queue and then go back to Indy and beat the Cavs in 4 out of 7 games. I don't know if that'll happen, but I think this is definitely a team that believes that. And
Victor Oladipo came out and said it. Yeah. He came out and said, this is a series that we believe we can win.
They are a better team. The Indiana Pacers are a better overall team. They function better than the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are just sitting back waiting for pads for LeBron, and you better make that shot to give the king an assist. And it's like, you know what? I'm not so sure if that's the model for how to really play, productive basketball.
Right. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this has been a lot of really good debate. We're going to have to send it to a break. So, let's keep the debate juices flowing.
Definitely. No worries.
Really.
No worries. To embrace
so, we're going to get into some Oklahoma City Thunder after the break. So, but first, Perfect Pets.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm super cuddly and I want to be your friend.
Hi there, I'm Mocha. I'm a spunky girl with a lot of energy and a ton of love to give.
I'm Frank. I am a super playful kitty who is in need of a super loving home.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Welcome back. Again, that number is 608-781-4014. Give them a call. All right, Sports Talk Live. Hey, I'm a big plug-in for Perfect Pets. I really am. Big advocate for it. Okay, got it. So OKC Thunder, this little hype that's going on. I saw to start the season, or to start the playoffs, excuse me. I saw they were actually favored over the Warriors to make it to the finals. So that's a lot of hype. Are you buying into it?
I don't buy into that type of hype there, but at the same time, though, I do understand what they're saying. If you look at the pieces head to head, first of all, you go into the playoffs, you shorten your rotation. So their problem with OKC is that they don't go that deep on their bench. You go into the playoffs, you shorten your rotation, you kind of fix that problem a little bit, and you give more time to the guys who are productive. That's first of all. Second of all, you look at the individual matchups. This is the first time Russell Westbrook will be able to actually play Steph Curry one-on-one. Last year, it was 1-on-4. The year before that, when he had KD, it was 2-on-3. You know, now he can just match up against his guy. Paul George can just match up on Klay Thompson. And actually, I give those guys the benefit of the doubt in those matchups. They will lock those two guys down. Right. The KD is the one wild card in there where actually I think you may want to put Paul George on him.
Yeah.
And maybe you try to get away with Anthony or someone else on Klay Thompson. Yeah. But, yeah, they actually match up very well defensively against that team. Now, getting buckets is another thing, but they can slow that team down. Russ is stronger.
That's why I said to start the playoffs, I said that it would be very interesting if OKC ended with the 7 seed. Mm-hmm. Like to watch that series play out without a Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. Okay, that would have been super interesting. I would have really liked to see it, and you know, they really do. They have the star power to really compete with anyone on paper. You know, they have the stars to like be like, oh yeah, they could definitely match up. That Andre Roberson injury was huge.
That
for them.
stinks. Yeah.
I honestly think that was the best thing that happened to them for
Really?
season.
You think so?
I really do. That guy, he sucks. He can't hit a shot.
He can't
Defensively,
shoot, yeah.
though.
Corey Brewer.
Defensively, but then he's a liability on offense. And guys aren't guarding him. They're 5 and 6 feet away from him, letting him shoot.
Which clogs up the lane even more for
Exactly.
Russell
Now Russell can't even get to the lane.
Yeah.
It's a liability.
So they essentially they lose Roberson and they bring in Corey Brewer, who's a much better offensively, not that much worse on the defensive end. And look, the Warriors have been winning titles with Steph as a point guard. Steph's a mess defensively. Now, he might not be as bad as most people say, but, I mean, he's no lockdown guy. No. So I think if you have enough offense, you can get away with being a little bit poorer on defense. So I think it's interesting. I just want to see the Thunder, either Thunder Rockets, Thunder Warriors, because I think that's a really interesting matchup because the athleticism, the quickness, and the strength of the Thunder can beat up those fast-moving guys. Like, imagine Ryan Anderson on the Rockets, and Eric Gordon, all those guys who love to play on the perimeter but don't necessarily want to get in the paint and get pushed around. I think the Thunder could give them a run. I don't think they're going to upset either of those teams, but it would be really, really fun to watch.
Right, I completely agree. Watching Russell Westbrook in the playoffs run fueled on like hate.
Like absolute hate.
Absolute hate would be super interesting. With that being said, you know, we got to keep the ball rolling. We got to move on. I know we could keep going on that topic. We're going to move on from NBA. It's too heated. All right,
it's not fair. It's too hot.
NFL draft. Specifically, where are quarterbacks? These big name quarterbacks. This is a really big name quarterback class. Where are they going?
I like Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
I have no idea where he's going. I just believe that he's the most NFL ready mentally. I think he's prepared upstairs. I think that his level of competing, the way he goes out there every time he has to play, that's the way you need to play in the NFL. So when you're talking about Josh Rosen, a lot of the guys with big arms or have a few attributes, I think you got to look at the total package. And you need a guy who wants to come out and compete every Sunday, compete to get better, compete to win. And I think that's what he has. Yeah.
I absolutely love the fire.
No, I love Baker Mayfield. I told my roommates, we were talking last fall, I was like, dude, Baker Mayfield is going to be a good NFL quarterback. I really want to believe that. I could see it not going that way. Just if he ends up in a bad organization, you never know. I really like Baker Mayfield. If I was picking in the 6 to 10 range and probably didn't have a shot at Darnold, Allen's not on the board, I think I'd take a flyer on Mayfield over Josh Rosen. The more Josh Rosen talks over these last couple weeks and the more that we've learned about Josh Rosen, just the farther he slides down. Now, because of his talent and because of the nature of the position he plays, he's going to go top 10. I cannot imagine him sliding any farther than that. You never know. I really like Baker Mayfield, and I actually like Josh Allen a lot too. I think he takes a lot of smoke from draft guys for having a low completion percentage. He played in an offense that was a pro-style offense with no other pro-style players in Wyoming. You know what I mean? So imagine playing in a pro-style offense, but you don't have any NFL-sized O-line. You don't have any good wide receivers to throw to. I think that'll fix itself. I do see a guy like Josh Rosen, going back to him, I want to draw a parallel with Jay Cutler because I feel like if things start to not go his way, he's got the best arm in the world. Everybody said that about Jay Cutler coming out of Vanderbilt.
Since DeMarcus Rosen.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Russell.
DeMarcus Russell.
Yeah.
Great arm, but does he have the drive to go out there and win? You don't really know. I like Lamar Jackson a lot too.
I do too.
I really do.
It's a loaded draft class.
I'm just
I
excited
liked it
to
for 2
watch.
years, yeah.
Excited to watch a couple of those guys and see what they become.
I agree. I think Baker Mayfield's intriguing. I really think you said 6 to 10.
Yep.
I think he goes 3.
Really?
I think he goes to the New York Jets. I was talking on my radio show, and I think that he's a lock at 3.
Really? To the Jets?
I really do. They love him. Reportedly, they love him.
They need a quarterback.
They can't say they
to be
need a
honest.
quarterback. They can't say anything bad about the guy. I like Sam. I think Sam Darnold is the most pro-ready quarterback in this quarterback draft class. He reminds me a lot of like a Ben Roethlisberger. He's like a country boy who played at USC, which I think that just shows you he can play anywhere.
Yeah, if I was a blue collar, I think he fits well in Cleveland, and I think he is going to be the #1 overall pick. In terms of NFL ready, I think Josh Rosen is the most NFL ready because I think Sam Darnold does have a lot of qualities that aren't there all the way yet. You saw him turn the ball over. You saw the fumbling issue, which was bad, and I know the parallels drawn a couple times a day, every day on SportsCenter to not Larry Fitzgerald, who is the quarterback in Arizona, played at Northern
Carson
Iowa.
Palmer.
No, the other one. The good one.
The go.
Yeah, what's
Kurt Warner?
Kurt Warner, yeah,
Okay.
the guy who had the fumbling issues. I know that
Right.
parallel's been drawn a lot.
Oh,
I think Sam Darnold will take a couple of years, but I think he is the best. I think he's the best.
Before I
quarterback.
send it to our next break, I really want to say, are the Giants making a mistake if they don't take a quarterback?
Yes.
Just really quickly.
Yes.
One word, yes?
No.
No?
No.
I think it's a huge mistake if they don't take Rosen. I really do.
You take the best player. There was a story told a long time ago. They said a coach asked, "Who do you take for your pick?" They said, "Take Michael Jordan." He said, "Oh no, but we need a center." They said, "Well, take Michael Jordan and you play on the
Right.
center."
There you go.
I'll take Saquon Barkley. That's what I do if I'm with that first pick. That's what I go with if I'm the
I'd
Giants.
take a quarterback, but that's just me.
Right. Well, all right.
gets
Like
you
I
picks.
said, we got to send it to the break. We're going to send it to the Comm Club. Right after that, we're going to talk a little bit of NFC North draft, and we'll see kind of how that pans out for us.
You bet.
So to the Comm Club we go.
I'm gonna let you guys do that one.
Welcome back to Sports Talk Live. We've been fraught with debate. A little bit of NFC North, though. We're going to talk about where we think, our teams, the Bears, the Lions, who are they taking in the NFL draft? So, Grant, I know you're a big Packer fan.
I am a big Packer fan. So they're picking at 14. So let's think about this. Let's really dig into our mind and think about the logic of picking at 14. Okay, this year is really nice because they have it's a quarterback-heavy draft, which is going to push a lot of that, both offensive and defensive position players, down the line a little bit.
Right.
So with that logic, you think Baker Mayfield's going 3. Well, that means Rosen, Allen, Darnold are probably all going to go top 10. So that's a bunch of players that you're sliding down the line to the Packers. I think they can get a really good player. Packers have the most picks of any team in the draft. I would not be opposed to trading up. Trading up to 6, 7. You like Denzel Ward? Go get Denzel Ward because the Packers.
Or like a Bradley Chubb.
Go get a Bradley Chubb might be a edge rusher. There's such a premium on edge rusher, and he's by far and away the best.
Oh yes.
Which might be a little tough. Although, heck, if you want to go up and get him, go up and get him. The Packers aren't in a position where they need a huge stockpile of young talent. They need 1 or 2 or 3 guys to hit, and that's counting guys they picked last year who were injured or haven't come through yet. I would be all for trading up and using some of that later capital to move up and get the exact player you want. But like I said, trading back for me is not. I don't want to redo this last year. I don't want to get more draft capital. They need a good player. They don't need a handful. They don't need more bites of the. They don't need a more bites of the apple. Like the expression is, you don't need more bites of the apple. You just need one really, really delicious good bite.
Right. That's a good take.
Well,
I think if they stay at 14 though, I think they go Marcus Davenport.
Okay.
Just because how often you said it, quarterbacks getting taken early pushes a lot of talent. How often does the second best pass rusher go to 14?
There's just a huge difference between the first
Yeah,
and the
there
second
is.
best
You're
passer.
right, you're right.
The thing about Davenport is he's a project. He's not his
He is a-
NFL ready.
he is a
as
project.
Chubb. So it's going to take a little while. Now, I'm already looking ahead. Aaron Rodgers, you probably got 5 years here, assuming he signs that extension, which I think he will.
Yeah, I do too.
5 years. I don't want to wait 3 or 4 years for a guy to pop until a second
Right.
contract. You need somebody to help now.
What do you think, Billy?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to speak with my heart here. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, man, down here. He's such a low pick. And
To Green Bay?
No, honestly, I'm thinking about Denver. I know that's another blue and orange. I'm from Chicago, and this is another blue and orange. This is Denver. But I'm a big Denver fan. I grew up loving John Elway. Then John Elway actually recruited my second favorite quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning, there. They just kept the ball rolling. I still like those guys a little bit. And I'm hoping that they can pick like a Lamar Jackson, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's pick 5.
Yeah, they're at pick 5.
Pick
yes.
5, Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson.
Just-
Hot take.
They're supposed to be getting Josh
Very
Allen,
hot
but
take.
That's who I like.
It's steamy back
I
here.
like it.
That's who I like.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
All right. We got to move forward to the NHL playoffs. I know that's a really exciting topic. I think.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the Stanley Cup every year is up for grabs. NHL is so balanced. There's rarely just like a super stacked team. So who do you got losing early? Who do you got winning the cup?
Popular to contrary belief, the Cap this is not the Caps year. This is absolutely
Yeah.
not the Caps year. The Jackets are taking that series, and it's been really fun to watch. Jackets, I like the Jackets. I like the Wild. Give me the Wild. I know they're down 2-1 right now,
Oof.
or 1-2 to Winnipeg. Love the Wild. That's a tough team right there.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
Preds, big Preds guy. Those are my 3. I'm riding with those.
No Pens.
No Pen. Screw the Pens. No.
Wow.
Not a Pens guy.
Interesting.
Nope, not at all.
I'm very disappointed that the Blackhawks did not make the postseason this year. I have no dog in this race.
I've never been happier that of a team
I
to
really
not make
feel
the
like
playoffs.
as a Wild
For
fan,
the Chicago
I
Cubs
think,
winning, I'm sure.
as a Wild fan, I think the Blackhawks not being this is definitely like this was our year.
Yeah,
The Blackhawks, they've been kind of our kryptonite.
and it still is our year as Wild fans. I know they're down 1-2.
I hope so.
You have a problem
I hope
with
you're
that.
right.
I'm still on the bandwagon.
I don't buy because a lot of people were saying, "Wow, this has been a not as successful year as maybe last year."
For the Hawks or for the Wild?
For the Wild.
Okay.
And they only lost 4 more games.
Yeah, it's not.
They just didn't go on that huge 8-game, 9-game streak like what they did last year.
Yeah.
So people thought, oh, they're not as good. They had a lot. They were injury ridden.
Yeah, they were.
Dubnyk was hurt for a portion. Suter, Spurgeon, Niederreiter. All these key cornerstone players for this organization didn't play for a good portion. They never played their entire lineup together.
Who wins the Stanley Cup this year?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I-
Put it on the table.
I think
Hot take.
I think the Penguins. They got the best player.
That's a hot take.
I mean,
All right.
I really do.
All right.
You think the Wild might win it, huh?
No, I don't think the Wild are going to win it. The Wild will never win it. I just let me be happy. But I do like the Jackets are hot right now, and I always like the Preds. I'm a big Preds fan.
Interesting.
That Milwaukee Admirals connection.
Yeah.
I got to be a Preds guy.
I think every year I want to buy into the Wild.
Oh yeah.
And every year I just get it's Minnesota sports, to be honest. I mean, every year I really get disappointed.
Everybody says that. Minnesota, Wisconsin sports fans are constantly disappointed every year. They're let down at the finish line.
So sorry.
It's
to hear
fine.
that.
Always playing the victim. Always playing the victim.
Right.
Ken, that's cool.
Seriously.
We
I am a victim when it comes to sports.
We gonna do some rants.
Yeah. With that being said, we gotta, we've got to do some rants. Unfortunately, the show is coming to an end.
I'm not gonna rant about being a victim. You want me to lead this off?
All right, go ahead, lead it off.
All right. Look. I'm gonna look right in the camera. I would love to be in sports media someday. I feel a strong connection to some of those reporters out there asking the difficult questions on the front lines. And I will say this, Greg Popovich is a tool. And I don't really understand how nobody else thinks that. And I know I finally started to see it on Twitter. Like, Popovich will come out and he will personally insult a reporter and his question. And ESPN will retweet the video and be like, yeah, that crazy Pop, just classic Pop. Yeah, being a jerk is always to everyone. So I'm sick of it. I'm not a Popovich fan.
Interesting. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Greg Popovich, probably for the same reasons you hate him.
Alrighty.
And my rant today is going to be about my intelligence being assaulted with the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight. I believe that it's just a money grab, and there's no way in heck that this should be taken seriously. either one of these fights, either one of these guys shouldn't be able to just cross over and just jump into an entirely different arena. It's disrespectful to the guys who trained their entire lives, first of all, for these guys to just be able to get the shot to take on the champ, first of all. Then second of all, I think they're just really playing on our intelligence level when they tell us things like, well, it'll be competitive, and they'll let Conor stay in the fight and Floyd doesn't beat him up until the end. It'll be the same thing if he goes to UFC. You know, Conor's not going to just beat him up. So
I wasn't upset about that, but now I am.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're calling you down.
All right, I got an interesting rant. I know you're all going to be super intrigued by it. I'm going to talk about golf. I know. We don't hear about this very much because Tiger Woods is not. I'm sick of this Tiger Woods narrative. Is he back? Is he not back? I'm honestly quite sick of it, and I'm super thrilled that there is a potential athlete to start taking over the headlines for golf. Patrick Reed is exactly the type of athlete that golf needs. He's kind of like this villainous. Hero versus villain.
Beer belly.
Beer belly type of guy. I don't know if he can win on a consistent basis as much as like a Tiger. But with that being said, I really think that he's exactly what the sport needs.
Something to root for.
Good take.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, hey, I thank you guys so much for joining us today, Sports Talk Live. Again, I'm your host, Ken Stowe, joined by Grant Bills and Billy Lewis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was a great show. It was a lot of fun.
Let's do it again.